What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So the other day, Bob Knight passed away. Bobby Knight, famous Indiana University head basketball coach, won 3 national championships there. Is famous for coaching the great Isaiah Thomas, aka Zeke, from our hometown of Chicago, Illinois. Right. So he passed away, and you had people giving their thoughts on Bobby Knight, and people giving him all this praise and all of that, right? Because they're like, yo, he was a great coach. He was a winning coach. He won 3 national championships there, which is more than a lot of these coaches who are revered today has won. Tom Izzo only won 1. John Calipari only won 1, right? A lot of these famed coaches, they didn't win that many. Jim Boeheim has won 1. He won 3, and he did it without the scandals and, all the allegations of giving out money, etc., which is dope, which is a great thing, right? And he was a great coach. But I'm here to tell y'all right now, 2 things could be true. He could be a great coach and an absolute asshole in the same breath. And that's what Bobby Knight was. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. People going to try to sugarcoat it because he's deceased now. I don't give a damn about doing none of that. I'm here to tell the truth. This is a truth channel. Bobby Knight was an asshole. He was a bully. He was a very obnoxious individual. He could be extremely rude, etc. Now, I say all that to say, because I know some of y'all super tough ass dudes finna come on here. Y'all generation soft. Y'all little millennial soft. Listen, I grew up with a hard-nosed mama, boy, who was not playing. She was like a warden in the household. My father ruled his house with an iron fist, okay? My dad, I got an old school black father from Chicago. He not playing them games with me. I couldn't do a lot of stuff other dudes was doing out here in Chicago. Game banging never crossed my mind, particularly because it wasn't me, but also my mom and my dad was going to put their foot up where, okay, if I was to ever play like that, So I grew up with stern teachings. I grew up, getting talked to rough. I grew up, with parents who raised their voice, etc. But it's a way to do everything. Bobby Knight was in practice choking up players and shit like that. That's crazy, okay? If Bobby Knight would have choked me up, choking out your players and all that, that's crazy stuff. I could have been playing for Bobby Knight. I wouldn't be, because I wasn't no great basketball player. But let's just say, hypothetically speaking, if I'm playing for Bobby Knight and he choked me up, and I told my father, as strong and hard-nosed as a man that man is, who didn't take no mess from nobody, he still is, I'm saying, right? I don't want to speak about him in the past tense because he's still with us. If my father would have heard Bobby Knight choke me up, he would have came to practice and choked the shit out of Bobby Knight. The Ku Klux Klan wouldn't have been able to get my daddy off Bobby Knight, okay? Because listen, it's a lines you don't cross, okay? And Bobby Knight crossed it a lot. Even making a joke about the R word, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. The word for assault, the assault word, the R word that happens, and particularly to women a lot, right? Their R word. I'm stuttering over my words. He made a joke about that, like, hey, if it's happening, you might as well lay back and enjoy it. But he was trying to say I was making an analogy to sports. But I'm looking like that's just something you shouldn't say. Why would you say that, right? Why would you even make that comparison in that breath? Oh, he was like, it's getting taken out of proportion. No, bro, that's just not something you should say. Not only that, it ain't just the fact he was berating players. I remember I seen him hit a dude under the chin hard as hell. And I'm looking like, yo, he got to keep his hands to himself, dog. All of that is crazy. But this is the kicker. I remember when COVID first happened. I'm finna say when COVID first dropped, like it was a goddamn album or movie or something, right? But when COVID first happened, we all in the house. I'm on TV buying ESPN 30 for 30 documentaries. I'm watching the documentary, and one of his teams was playing bad. They weren't playing that well to him. Bobby Knight, and y'all stay with me now. Look, we here. Bobby Knight goes to the bathroom, takes a shit, okay? Wipes his butt, has the boo-boo on the piece of tissue, walks out of the bathroom with it on a piece of tissue, shows it to his players and say, this what y'all playing like. This shit here. If that ain't some weirdo shit, if I ain't never heard it, what the hell is wrong with you? What the hell is going on with you that you out here got boo-boo on a piece of paper? What type of weirdo behavior type? See, y'all know what type of stuff that is. I ain't gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it on camera. But y'all know what type of stuff that is. All right? That ain't that's what are you doing? That's some weirdo shit. And that people think that's okay. That's just like, what are you doing? Why are you so weird? What's wrong with you, nasty ass dude? You gotta be a nasty MFer. Okay? You's a nasty MFer. That you gonna wipe your butt and come out with the boo-boo on the dang on tissue and showing it to your players. Like that's gonna strike a chord in them. Why would you do something sick and disgusting like that? Why would you do that? And I know his stinking I know his nasty ass didn't wash his hands at all after that. At all. Probably had some of it on the palm of his hands. Why? Just disgusting. Nasty, man. So while he was a great coach, he did a lot of stuff that was way out of bounds and overboard. And I think two things could be true. We don't have to act like he was a saint or he was an angel. And, all these old head, these boomers, especially the boomers, the MAGA boomers. Oh my God. The MAGA boomers, the ones that got the American flag in their background with the shades on. We need more men like this. We need guys like this in our generation. Man, shut up. All them dudes that talk like that be soft as hell, soft as cotton. I got little cousins that'll smack the hell out of them. And they wouldn't do nothing to my little cousin now. I got little cousins who would go upside their head. And they wouldn't do nothing. They talk all that bravado, all that tough man shit. And don't be living about it no way, no how. Be hoes in their everyday life, okay? But anyway, yeah, Bobby Knight was really, he was a bully. He was a bully. He was absolutely unnecessary in a lot of ways. He did things. And even talking to reporters like they crazy. I remember he's getting interviewed by a guy, and Bobby Knight knows his father. He's giving the young man such a hard time, talking to him crazy on camera, berating him, and just giving him, and the young man is handling it so gracefully with a smile on his face, being respectful, calling him Mr. Knight, all of that, talking to him so respectfully. But he's trying to denigrate the young brother and give him a hard ass time and think that's okay and that's cool. And this is a grown man he's talking to, not a kid, right? And so it was so crazy that the young man's father, who Bobby Knight knows, went on TV and said, Bobby Knight, who the hell do you think you are talking to my son like that? And people thought it was cool and it was okay. No, he needed to be checked. But we lived in a generation where if you're great, people made excuses for you. People took up for you. If you did great things, everybody just went along with everything you did and act like everything you did was okay. And that's why he was able to do certain stuff for so long. You know what I mean? Even the great Isaiah Thomas. I love Zeke. Zeke told a story about when Bobby Knight came to the west side of Chicago and come talk to his mama and them. And they heard about the Ku Klux Klan's presence in Indiana, right? And he asked, like, yo, what about the Klan? We be hearing stories about that. What about that? I want to make sure my brother's safe. And Bobby Knight says, well, if he plays well, he won't have no problems with none of that. And he was like, my brother didn't think that was funny. Him and Bobby Knight was getting into it, right? And Zeke swears by Bobby Knight because that was his coach and he helped, guide him into the NBA. But a response like that, nah, Bobby, ain't no plan. Bobby, we ain't doing that if he play well. No, we ain't. I hear you trying to joke and you want him to play well and you want to inspire him to be a great baller. But no, dog, we ain't playing with that Klan shit, dog. We ain't doing that. Because at that point, you say that about my son, Bobby Knight, I'm going there to whoop the Klan and I'm whooping you when we get there. Okay? Says you talking like that. But yeah, man, but Bobby just he was an abrasive person and he was rude to a lot of different people. And they let it slide for a long time because he was winning. Even and I got, respect for Greg Popovich. I don't even like the way Greg Popovich berates certain media members and be snarky to them and rude as hell and obnoxious to them. And although he stands up for a lot of things, social justice wise and a lot of issues that black people are fighting against, which I appreciate. He lends his voice to those issues and all of that, and he uses his privilege to speak up for black folks and all of that in those certain circumstances. I don't like how he interacts with media and acts like they're the most despicable person in the world at times when they interviewing him. Now, if he knows you and you're a former player or something, he'll do it in a joking way. But I've seen him be absolutely snarky and rude to people who just there to do their job. And I never liked that. I never liked that either. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at Bobby Knight do that type of stuff. Nah, bro. Putting his hands on players and all that, dog. No. You ain't finna be choking me out. You're not doing that, man. Like, at this point, y'all can call people a kid, but they're 18, 19, 20, 21, all of that. Yay, yo. That testosterone is boosting through. You're not gonna be choking me up and it's all cool and dandy because my father at home ain't even choking me up. Okay? And he ruled his house with an iron fist. He don't play no games with me. The reason why I never got in trouble or never was suspended from school, never joined no gangs, never drank, smoke, was because the father that I had and the mother that I had, right? So obviously they doing something right, and they don't choke me. They don't even choke me out. So Bobby Knight, you ain't finna be choking me out. You gonna get your ass choked back. And then I know I'm gonna be going to jail and I'm gonna be the rudest, most ignorant young man ever. But Bobby Knight was a bully. He was a great coach, but he was rude and a bully too.